Guys, it's Liam Butt, Platinum Personal Training, coming back at you with another video. Today is it's a Q&A. I've been sent, the last few videos have had some pretty good feedback, but a lot of it's been questions. Not about the content of the videos, which I kind of take as being a good thing. That kind of tells me that the content of the videos is good, that you guys are understanding what I'm getting across within the videos. But I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions, a multitude of different topics, obviously all training and nutrition based, that I'm going to try and answer for you in the next few minutes. Okay, so the first 3 questions came at me from a young lady. She wants to be leaner, and she's got 3 questions. She's done her own research, but she's got conflicting views. You're always going to get that. With anything with training or diet, because it's such a grey area. What works for one doesn't work for the other. I'm going to give you my opinion. Bear in mind, it is my opinion, okay? Doesn't mean it's right or wrong. There's obviously some things that are factual, science-based, that still don't work for everyone. But I'm going to give you as much information as I can. Okay, what order is better, cardio before or after weight training? This one I would go 100% every single time. Do your cardio after your weight training, okay? There's loads and loads of scientific reasons why your body's in a better position to burn body fat, to utilise that body fat for fuel, etc, etc, etc. For me, I would say the most important reason is because when you go in the gym, you want to utilise your energy for your weight training, okay? Cardio is cardio. If you're doing it in the same session as your weight training, you get your weight training done first, you put your effort into that. Whatever you've got left in the tank, you can do obviously your cardio after. Not part of the question, sorry, not an actual, was not asked. But obviously as well, you've got your LISS cardio, your low intensity steady state. You know, you see people maybe walking uphill on the treadmill, just pedaling on the bike, or you've got your high intensity interval training, your HIIT training. I would recommend using both. Okay, I do think both are beneficial. Some LISS, so longer sessions, heart rate are more stable, compared to some shorter sessions where you're doing more sprint based work. That can be cross trainer, treadmill, stairs, whatever it might be. Okay, so question 2, how long should rest be between sets? Well, if you want to get leaner, then we would kind of obviously probably say take a shorter rest period. That's going to make your training more cardiovascular based, okay? However, there's lots and lots and lots of factors, okay? The shorter the rest period, the less you're going to have recovered. So does that mean that you're not going to be quite as strong in that next set? For me, my next rotation of training is a week of powerlifting, a week of bodybuilding, okay? So I'm going to be taking maybe 45 to 90 seconds of rest between the sets within the bodybuilding session. Within the powerlifting session, it's going to be anything up to 5 or 6 minutes of rest between when I'm doing singles, okay? What I would recommend for you is to map how much rest you're getting, keep it specific, maybe start with 1 minute, and then you can use the amount of rest that you're taking as a progression or as a regression. If the workout's too difficult, you might think, oh, well, I don't want to change the actual weights I'm lifting, but the session's a little bit too difficult, I'm not making the target repetitions. Then you can actually increase the rest period slightly. That means that you're going to recover, okay? A little bit more cardiovascular system and muscular system, which will then allow you to make that weight. But obviously you could then use it as a progression as well. Let's say, for instance, if your gym only had a certain amount of weight on a machine, but you really like that machine, you get a good pump from it, but you're at the full stack, and you're maybe doing 4 sets of 12, let's say, for instance. By taking a shorter rest period between the sets, you're essentially progressing. Okay, you're making a progression even though you haven't added weight. Okay, specifically to try and answer your question, black and white, probably aim for the shorter rest periods, probably no more than a minute, but that is if you're doing standard issue bodybuilding style training. Okay, again, difficult for me to answer exactly because I don't know exactly what you're doing right now, but hopefully there was enough information there that you can get a good idea, and maybe again map your rest, use it for progression and regression. Maybe take a week of training every now and again where you double the amount of rest you're getting, and see how much more weight you lift. Or similarly, every couple of weeks, maybe you could half the amount of rest you're getting, but do an additional maybe a couple of sets, or it's going to get the workout done quicker. Whatever you might want to do. Okay, question 3, again from the same young lady, wants to get leaner. What is the desired amount of sets and reps? I can't answer that one. That's a massively grey area, because again, I don't know specifically what you're doing now. Obviously, you can send me the details. I can grab a look. I really can't answer that because it is so individual. Okay, all I can say to you is I can refer you to. I've mentioned in previous videos about people's training who might come in the gym and literally do one working set of maybe 2 or 3 exercises, and they're putting mass on all over the show. Other people, one working set, they might not be able to get the intensity, might not have enough muscle maturity to actually get straight into a good working set, so they might need more warm-up sets. Ronnie Coleman, Jay Cutler, for instance, quite instinctive trainers, train a lot of sets, 6-7 sets per exercise, maybe 5-6-7 exercises in a workout, maybe more. For me personally, I like the heavier weights, the lower amount of working sets, but on a deadlift day, I might only do 1 set to failure, but I might have done 7 or 8 warm-up sets to get up to that. So it's a very, very difficult question for me to answer. The best thing for you to do is map yourself a training program. Maybe say, for instance, do something pretty straightforward to begin with, 3 to 4 sets, 12 to 15 reps, and take a look at your body after a month, 8 weeks, 12 weeks. Is it working? That's what a lot of people neglect to do. They might have the greatest training program in the world written by a fantastic trainer, but if it doesn't work for them and they're not actually tracking their progress, so measuring strength, measuring weight, measuring body parts, using the mirror, get someone with an honest eye that can take a look at you and say, you need to improve this area or that area. I'm not going to offer to do that. My wife would kill me. Yeah, that's a difficult question to answer. But hopefully, again, I've given you enough information there that you can make an informed decision. Okay. Right, moving on to just a couple of other 3 more questions that came in from different people. One was very simple. It came in and it just said, how many days do I need to train to gain mass? Again, without knowing what you're currently doing, it's a very, very difficult question to answer because everyone is different. And actually, I'm going to do the next question straight away. How do I get stronger? That one's a little bit more straightforward. You lift heavy weights, you'll then get stronger. But the actual specifics, again, you need to get yourself a program, run it for a prolonged period of time to see if it works. You can then make adjustments. This is the problem that I find a lot, is people don't run things for long enough to actually know whether they're working. Okay, you need to run set programs with set progressions, along with a set diet, set supplementation regime, and give it time. Give it time. 3 months, 4 months. If you're going backwards, then for fuck's sake, change it. You know, don't go backwards for too long. But give it enough time to get what I discussed in one of my last videos, was to get into the phase of adaptation. Okay, so your body's actually responding to the stimulus and adapting to get better. Okay. For most people that I'll be talking to in this video, for most of you guys who are mostly just Facebook friends who'll be sitting watching the video, you'll be thinking, what adaptation am I looking for? All you guys are looking for pretty much the same thing: bigger muscles, less body fat. That's what we're looking for. Okay. Last question: is milk and quinoa good for me? I presume you don't mean together. Sounds rank. I'm going to presume you mean, are those 2 foods good? I utilised milk in my last rotation because I was getting a little bit worried about bone strength. So I know a lot of bodybuilders that drink milk. I know a lot more bodybuilders that don't drink milk, but I would say I know a lot more bodybuilders, fitness models, athletes A good friend of mine, who won't mind me mentioning him, Mr. Jamie Alderton. He is, I believe, a large portion of his body must be made up of Greek yogurt, the amount he eats. So I would actually say milk, yeah, it's okay, but actually, why don't you try Greek yogurt? Okay, very, very high in protein, crazy high in protein actually, and you're going to get the same big hit of calcium. If you're drinking milk for some specific reason, if you've got osteoporosis or something, but milk in protein shakes as a kind of weight gainer, yeah, it can be good to add some extra calories. Don't ever put milk in your post-workout shake. You'll slow the absorption of the protein, especially if it's like a pro-recover. But yeah, that's your call. Again, hopefully that's enough information there that you'll be able to make an informed decision. Or quinoa. So quinoa, for those who don't know what it is, it's spelt quinoa. It's actually quinoa. Yeah, it's a great food. It's like a nut or a grain. I don't know what category it falls into, but it's basically it's the only plant-based complete protein. So it's got all the spectrum of nutrients and amino acids that you would find in an animal-based protein. Fantastic for vegetarians, obviously, because you're getting that complete protein, and that's what a lot of you guys are missing. Obviously, you've made one bad choice already, becoming vegetarian. That's your call. But you can make a good choice and take some quinoa down. And yeah, definitely. Do I use it personally? No. It doesn't fit into my regime now. If I was out to dinner and I saw it on a menu, would I choose it? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. So to answer the question, is it good for you? Yes, definitely. Feel free to add it into your program. Okay, guys, that wraps it up. That's half a dozen questions done. I still hope you're enjoying the videos. I'm getting feedback, which is good. Keep the feedback coming. If you disagree with anything, that's fine. Let me know that too. So it's Liam Butt, Platinum Personal Training, lgb1212@yahoo.co.uk. Easiest place to get hold of me is on Facebook or Twitter. There's a video will be going on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter. Keep training hard, and I'll speak to you soon. That's a wrap.